They knew. They always knew. The U.S. government didn't accidentally harm so-called black indigenous people. They knew exactly what they were doing right from the beginning. That America made a lot of mistakes with the indigenous people. Mistakes, and nobody really knew better. But that's a lie. From the 1700s forward, the government documented who indigenous people were, where they lived, how they governed themselves, and what land belonged to them. And when indigenous nations gave land to these colonizers, the colonizer kept pushing and adding more land and more people. Fast forward to the Civil War. After the war, though, the U.S. government declared those treaties void. Do you know why? Not because indigenous people disappeared, and not because the treaties were illegal, but because they wanted that land. And what do you do when you want land from an indigenous nation? You void the treaty. You take away the land rights. Then came Reconstruction treaties, forced land cessions, allotment, enrollment rolls, reclassification. And this is where the real violence started to happen, but on paper. Paper genocide explains a lot. And what they learned about that is that killing people outright caused resistance and backlash. So they changed the tactics. Instead of erasing bodies, they erased identity. They took indigenous people and relabeled them Negro, colored, mulatto, and ultimately African American. Not because it was true, but because those labels stripped treaty rights and land rights. And once you're no longer legally indigenous, your land becomes available, your sovereignty disappears, and your history gets rewritten. And so census records and Indian rolls and military correspondence and congressional debates, the government repeatedly described indigenous people as dark-skinned or brown or copper or black. Now, if you fast forward to today, the same system still operates. Judicial confusion, denial of recognition, underfunded communities, over-policing, mass incarceration. Prison replaced plantations. Classification replaced chains. International law now says what indigenous people have always known. A people do not lose their rights because a government lies about them. Identity is not erased by paperwork, and sovereignty does not expire.